Can you plan for a future without risk? I'm here at Grand Valley State University, the college where I attended, and walked through those doors right there many times. That's the Student Services Building, the place where you go and plan your financial aid. After I attended here, there's been thousands and thousands of students that have walked through those very same doors, all hopefully planning their financial future. And yet every year, thousands of the students that graduate from college, some of them from Grand Valley, graduate without a job, and in fact, maybe even spend years on the job market without a job. So, if you can't be guaranteed a job with a college degree, what can guarantee you a sound financial future? Can you plan for a future without risk? Is it possible? So it's not really possible to have a future without risk. We're going to face risk in anything we do. But from an economic standpoint, what we really want to do is make sure that we act reasonably and rationally toward that risk. One of the mistakes people often can make is that they act in very fearful ways, reacting to sensational things. For example, Mr. Snake here, people are sometimes deathly afraid of snakes, and yet some of those same people don't think twice about getting in a car, even though their chance of being attacked by a snake and killed is tiny compared to their chance of getting in a car crash and having serious damage done. We see this in another situation too. Oftentimes you'll see people get on a plane and fly and not really think twice about getting on the plane, but yet at the same time sit down at a restaurant and scarf down a cheeseburger and fries just dripping with saturated fat and not think twice about the chance of a heart attack. So the last thing people will do in regards to taking on risk is they'll put on their seatbelts, and because they feel they're covered to take on the risk on the road, they'll speed up. Once again, the idea here is not that we're going to be able to avoid risk. We want to minimize as much as possible, and certainly putting on your seatbelt is a good idea. But just because we're doing things to minimize our risk doesn't mean that we don't also face risk. And just because we are facing scary situations at times doesn't mean that the more common situation might happen, or that there's other things that we shouldn't do in our lives to try to minimize the risk that those things pose in themselves. So is college a bad investment if it doesn't guarantee you a job? The short answer is no. In life, there really aren't guarantees for anything. And the point in life is to try to minimize risk and maximize how you handle adversity. And most people generally agree that college is pretty good at doing both of those things. But the fact of the matter is that there just aren't any guarantees. So as economic actors, we have to keep this in mind and act as rational beings in a very dynamic economic world.